guys? This is Kyle from Wax Museum, and I am very excited to share this mail day with you today. It's not the normal bubble mailer full of cards that I would come on here and talk about, but instead I received a response to a letter that I wrote Hall of Famer Hubie Brown a few weeks ago. And before I just read off the contents of the letter to you, I do want to give you some context because it's kind of interesting. I didn't set out just to write a letter to Hubie Brown. In fact, I was researching a player from the 1957 Topps basketball set named Dick Ricketts. And Dick Ricketts was a very good two-sport athlete. He played in the NBA and the MLB. I think he's one of only 13 players to do so. Anyway, after spending a little time in both leagues, he decided he wanted to focus primarily on baseball instead. So he thought he could play baseball in the summer, and then in the winter he would play for this regional league called the Eastern Professional Basketball League, which was basically the precursor to the CBA. So think like D-League or G-League, somewhere along those same lines. But this was a weekends-only basketball league. So you had guys that had their regular 9 to 5, and then on the weekends they would join their team again and play. A famous example of that would be Paul Arizin. After his NBA career, he played in the EPBL for a little bit, so then he could also work at IBM during the week. So as I was researching this, I found this article that talked about this new team in Rochester called the Colonels, and it was running through some of the players, and I look at the bottom of the article, and lo and behold, there's a headshot for Hubie Brown. And even though I know he's been associated with basketball all his life, I never really knew anything about his playing career because he never played in the NBA. So I thought Hubie might get a kick out of seeing this, and if I was going to send this article to him, well, then I might as well ask him some questions about Dick Ricketts and then his time in the EPBL as well. So that's what I did. I started the letter kind of explaining the same thing that I just explained to you guys, so I won't run through all of that. But the first question that I had for Hubie was, do you have any memories of teammate Dick Ricketts that you'd like to share? And he kind of wrote some things down in bullet point form. He said, big athlete, team player, score and defense. He said, Duquesne University, number 1 in the country, 1954 most of the year. And then he also mentioned, he said he and Cy Green, and then I think it says Boys High School, New York City, because that's where Cy Green was from. He said very tough on both ends. So then after that, I said, you averaged 13.8 points per game in your short time in Rochester. And I didn't mention it in the letter. I mean, obviously he already knows this, but the team went 0-8 and then they folded after 8 games. But from everything I had read, it said he was an excellent defender in the process. So I tried to mention that in there as well. I said, I would think that an NBA team might be interested in signing you. Did you try to make an NBA squad, or were you already more focused on becoming a coach instead? And he responded, no NBA. I was in graduate school at Niagara University, getting a master's degree, plus a teaching certificate. And he said that Rochester was close, and that makes sense with everything that I said about the EPBL earlier. You did whatever you needed to do throughout the week. There were no practices or anything like that. And then you would go and you would play your games on the weekend. So like I said, all of that lines up. The next question I wrote, I said, I enjoy watching you on NBA telecasts this season, as I do every year. Who is your favorite player in the league right now, and why? And he didn't mention a specific player, but he did. I mean, there was definitely a lot of thought that went into this question. He said, difficult question. Many stars are playing a different game. And he's got a section here on the left part of the letter that says all defense, question mark, first, second, or third team, question mark. He said that makes a choice of player for me. Now in the past players, do they play both ends? So he didn't list any specific players for me, but it obviously shows here that he wants them playing on both ends of the floor. We can't have just offensive guys or just defensive guys. They have to play both ends. So my next question was, do you think the pace of play in today's game is too fast? And he wrote in all capital letters, no, and underlined it. So that kind of surprised me because you'll see a lot of the players and the coaches from previous eras, they kind of want to dismiss the era that we're seeing right now. But that's the one thing I've always liked about Hubie is that he's receptive to new eras and new styles of play. Now, with that being said, I followed it up with the question, what era of NBA basketball do you think offered the best overall product on the floor? And he said that he misses the days of plays on motion. He says continuity on fast breaks, options for teams' best scorers 1, 2, and 3, excellent side and under baseline plays. And I can't make out this next part here. I think it might say extra pressure, and then he put in parentheses, missed that. 5 out, and the 3-point shot is different. And then he mentioned style of play. And then he's got some bullet points on the side here that says fast break, pick and roll, one-on-one, pass and cut. And he says we learned all of that in the 8th grade. So what I could gather from that is that he has no issues with all of the motion, because he mentioned 5 out. That's kind of a style of a motion offense. So he has no issues with that, but there are some things that he misses as well. I think some of the intentionality, maybe we've gotten too fast for some of the intentionality on some of the plays, although he didn't say that. I don't want to speak for him, but I just thought it was interesting. No, he wasn't too dismissive. He seems to enjoy all of the motion, and he seems to enjoy all the fast plays. So anyway, I thanked him for his time, and he said best wishes, Hubie. So I was very thrilled to get that letter back. I wanted to share that with you guys. I've written to other players before, but it's been a little while. So this might inspire me to start doing some of that again, because I really enjoyed getting that response. And if I do get anything, I will definitely share that with you guys as well. So that's all I've got for you today. I appreciate you guys watching, those of you that are still with me. Remember, there are new episodes of the audio podcast that come out every Thursday. And as always, thanks for watching.